Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Let me make sure all my bells and whistles are doing what bells and whistles are supposed to do.
Do you have any whistles on you?
Wait, do I have any bells? Hold on. What happened
Where's
to my
your
bells?
bell?
We've been gone for 2 weeks and we can't figure anything out.
I know.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
I love.
Do you like it?
I love it, and I love that it's soft. Oh,
I know it's different, right?
It's got like what's in my pillow? My buckwheat pillow.
Right.
It's got like buckwheat in it.
I know. Have you guys ever used a buckwheat pillow? He's obsessed, and if he forgets a buckwheat pillow on our travels,
I am doing my
it's
best
a nightmare.
after 25 years to get like an endorsement from Buckwheat Pillows, because I've been talking about buckwheat pillows.
That's
Probably
true.
hundreds of my friends have bought buckwheat pillows and have never looked back after they use them.
You have actually ordered overnight
I give it
Amazon in different locations that you have forgot your buckwheat pillow.
If I forget my buckwheat pillow
God.
when we're traveling,
Yeah.
I will order on Amazon Prime. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've given it as Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
So I have to figure out how to get the right buckwheat pillow sponsor for the show. And then, no, seriously, because they're only like 25, 30, 40 bucks.
So why don't you tell everybody why you like the buckwheat pillow?
So this is why I like the buckwheat pillow.
Since we've already
Funny that you
launched
asked
into that.
No, but happy Mabon.
Happy Mabon.
Do you guys know about Mabon? Yes. I'm pausing as if I can hear them.
Well, I'm actually testing out our new equipment right now, and I'm checking to see what it looks like. It was very clear when we started, and we do have good internet, so it looks a little foggy. What do you guys think? Yeah, see?
Oh.
Do you see that?
How's it look for you, Erica?
Little bit. Oh, it's coming in and out.
Yeah, it's interesting that.
Do you know?
It comes in and out a little bit.
We're in this big city in Los Angeles, right? And there is no fiber optics in our area for high speed. No high speed for any carrier at all. AT&T, Verizon, Fios. It's fiber. Yeah, Spectrum. Go on and on. I called them all.
What's the cable that we have? Spectrum, right?
We have Spectrum, and I've done testing, and it only goes up between 600 and 800 in the speed. I don't know what that means, but it's supposed to be and could be 1200, and it's not. So it would come in clearer if we had it. But guess what? LA County, this whole area doesn't carry, all the major carriers does not carry the highest speed DSL fiber optics.
DSL?
I meant to say fiber optics. And that is so weird, don't you think?
DSL.
Out of Los
heard that for
Angeles
20
County,
years.
this should be the place that has
I think
the
it's
most.
just where we live.
Yeah. Next
live in the
time you
most
say something that's from like 20 years ago, make sure that's an escrow.
Oh, that's gonna be-
and I'm going to get you back for that. So,
You will be ringing that bell all night long if I say things from 20 years ago. Everything I say is from 20 years
well, now I have my
except
my
for
filters
readings,
on
which are
and
the
I'm
20
ready.
years from now.
Welcome everybody to Psychic Sundays.
I am psychic medium, trance channel, and shaman Riz the Wiz.
And I'm Lady O. I'm an empath and intuitive.
And we are here because this has been our tradition for many, many years of being in the psychic field, close to 2 decades, guys. And we just can't get enough, honestly. We're doing this 12 hours a day, and then we do this on Sunday nights. So this is our Sunday night where we just kind of show you what we really normally would be doing on a Sunday night. We just put a camera up, and this started about a year ago. And thanks to you guys, we are at about, God, I think we're getting close to 400,000 subscribers.
Okay, so some people are saying that I have no...
I'm saying you're fine. It's just one person.
Oh, just
Okay.
one person couldn't hear me.
Yeah.
I just want to double check.
That one person is not supposed to hear you.
Okay. I have no comeback for that.
Some people are still having a hard time hearing Riz.
They are.
Interesting.
They're having a hard time hearing me.
Interesting.
All right, that's weird. All right, so this is our living room.
You tell
Welcome
them all
to
about
it.
it, and I'm going to do a little bit more research here and see if I can.
You're going to go into the engine room.
I'm going to go into the boiler room.
Okay. So Psychic Sundays is what we've been doing in our own house for so many Sundays over the years, whether it's with the kids or our friends or our students, where we would just chill out on a Sunday and just give out readings as if we weren't doing enough readings during the week. But these readings, guys, I want you to know something about tonight. It's basically we go for about 2 hours. The readings are totally free. You can't pay for a reading. It's not that you pay and then your question will definitely be answered, or it'll be first up. That's not how we work. If you want to pay or give it's a donation, and that's just to help the channel and shows our circuit of energy and our energy exchange, and that's very sweet, but you don't have to. But if you do, that's what that's for. It's not to buy a reading, okay? The readings, the way we do it is that we work intuitively. You guys will ask questions, and wherever Erica or Lady O or feel I'm supposed to go, that's who they give me the question. They read out the questions. I don't know the questions beforehand, obviously, because this is live. And if I feel, that I have an answer for you, I'll tell you. If I don't have an answer for you on something, if my guides or the universe doesn't give it to me, I always tell you I don't have an answer for you yet, okay? And as far as mediumship goes, a lot of people ask a lot of mediumship questions. The only thing we need to know, I'm sure Erica's putting this in the house rules, is that you should give us your real first name and the persons who passed away, their real first name, and when they passed. That's all we need to know. First names only, please. And you can ask questions about anything you want. If I have something for you, I'll tell it to you. And we also do something pretty special called Spirit Shoutouts. Spirit Shoutouts are where I get a message from my guides for one of you, about somebody who's watching live, and it'll be a name or a specific piece of information or anything at all. I really can't predict the predictions, and I'll just say it out loud. So I usually go 3 at a time. I'll go, okay, there's this thing coming through and this person coming through, and who claims this person? Because when I open my third eye door, you might say, it's kind of like it's a house party. It's kind of what is it called? An open house? It's an open house, but I will sort it through and give it to you. And if that spirit shout out rings a bell for you, and it should be specific, these are very specific bits of information. So just drop it in the chat and we'll get to your question. I'll give you the message. And what else? What can we say? So Mabon, I started talking about.
Yeah,
Mabon.
and you're going to have to do a lot of talking by yourself right now, because I'm literally in
hate
tech.
to talk by myself.
Yeah,
you know
I know
that.
you. It just really bothers
really
you a
hate to have
lot,
the mic.
doesn't it? It's really hard for you.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Okay, so Mabon, this is.
Riz.
Alas, alas, there's an Erica here. And Erica can talk to you.
All right.
Good helper.
Do you know I have my candy corn out here right now?
Tell the people about your candy corn.
I only like one kind of candy corn, and it's the old school Brock's candy corn. There's other companies that make it, but I like the kind you just go to CVS or whatever is a drugstore, and it's the old school Brock's, the original flavor. That's what I'm into. Okay. Do you know that there's speaking of which, since now you've distracted me by talking about candy corn, now I'm going to talk about Halloween Cap'n Crunch.
I did a good thing then.
Yeah, it's the original superfood. So Halloween Cap'n Crunch comes out but once a year. It's but once a year, Erica.
But once a year.
See, if I say it with an accent and with a little melody, I know Erica will repeat it and take it up a notch. I could say anything. I really want some peanut butter. I think
Peanut butter.
So Halloween Cap'n Crunch, it turns the milk green, and it's good for you. So I have it once a year, and I have to order some. Mabon is the pagan holiday celebrating the autumn equinox, guys. Actually, the term Mabon, which I learned recently means around 4:30 today, Pacific Standard Time, when Oriah told me that that Mabon is a recent name for an ancient celebration.
Yes.
By a gentleman who was reorganizing the earth religions and the pagan and these kind of druid type of religions back in Old England. And the name comes from a Welsh name, which means son of the mother. And Mabon is part of that term.
No,
Anyway,
here's the thing.
Look it up. And we celebrate by pumpkins and the rituals of gratitude and celebration, and knowing that now we begin going into the season where the nights are longer and the days are shorter. This is a time to pull it back a few notches, kind of lay back more and reap the harvest. This is the second harvest. This is the sister celebration to Ostara, which is Easter. Ostara, I mean, the goddess of fertility, coming in the spring. That's where the word Easter comes from. And so Mabon is really a time for you to do all the things that are autumn-like and fall-like, which is really taking care of yourself better. You know, you're not putting the pedal to the metal. This is where you go inwards more. In summer, we tend to come out more. And autumn is when we take a step back and reflect upon really all of our successes in the year. And we do enough of this. I hope you can hear me. We do enough of kind of criticizing ourselves, and we have to pat ourselves on the back more and really accept with grace the things that we have accomplished this year. And sometimes we need friends to tell us or loved ones to tell us what we've accomplished, because we often get so hard on ourselves. We go, I didn't do the things I really wanted to do this year. And so I would say sit with someone who really knows you and let them say to you, no, remember you did this, and I want to say how far you've come. That exchange of energy, that support of one another. In fact, that's the reason why we do Psychic Sundays, and that's the reason we do our work, is because we had teachers and people who came into our lives when we were young and when we weren't young, who were giving us messages and helping us to fine-tune how we see reality. And of course, myself being a psychic medium and a channeler, I have always felt that there was something more. I knew it when I was a kid. And we go beyond this physical reality. And I think that autumn, especially when Halloween comes up, that is the time where you really begin to realize that it's in the air, and the drying of the leaves and
the heat waves
leaving you.
Can I interrupt you?
No.
You're on a beautiful flow, but I'm going to interrupt you.
Yes.
I'm going to do a sound test because everybody hears Riz really great. I just want to see if you guys hear me.
Okay.
And I wasn't paying attention to anything you said, so I don't know if you covered everything. Is there anything you haven't covered?
Let me see. I don't know.
That I should say.
You just flow with it. I mean,
is there anything did you describe what I do yet or anything?
No, I didn't describe what you do yet.
Okay. So if you guys have any questions about your spiritual journey or your, and Erica, let me know if somebody says they can't hear me. Mm-hmm. Okay. So at your spiritual journey, your awakening, if you're having ascension symptoms, if you're feeling strange sensations in your body, if you are going through a rebirth, if you are, I work very strongly with the environment. I'm a Taurus, I really believe very much you create your reflection, you create who you are in the world.
You heard very well. This is the one they're having trouble hearing.
And some people said that they heard him clearly. Okay, so now go ahead and talk, Riz.
All right, I'm talking now. This is good that we're working this kink out before we start the readings. Yeah. You want to try turning me up on the
output?
Yeah, down there, and see if that works at all. Going into the red. Let me see. Yeah, maybe try it a little bit more. Turn up a little bit more, and maybe try it on the software.
I just turned it up.
On the gain on there?
I turned it not on the gain. Let me turn it
Do a little bit on the gain. I think that'll help us.
Okay, so your mic too. Let me see. Everybody gets to be on the inside with us, behind the scenes of how our podcast is working. This might work actually.
You
so
lowered
keep talking.
There.
Yeah.
You want to raise it a bit?
No, because the gain, I think we have to.
Well, I think a little bit. You can probably go to halfway.
But it's lower. Remember, we looked it up.
People are saying that it sounds good now.
All right.
Yay! Did we do it?
I think we did it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you did it.
We did it. Woohoo!
All right.
We're engineers, people.
Look at us.
Yeah, what's going to end up happening?
By the way, let's do a little. Yeah.
My prediction is we're going to master engineering of podcasting, and then eventually we're going to have somebody else doing it for us, and we'll have a full entire world that we just don't have to master it anymore. But you know what's really great, you guys? We're very proud of ourselves. If any of you guys have followed us since October, actually since August, we literally...
She means last August.
Yeah, I meant last August.
2023.
Riz and I have been just deep in our shamanic healing work, deep in our traveling internationally, helping people get to the other side of their traumas, like taking people on these world trips. Like we have been so saturated with this for over 15, 20 years, right? Yeah. And then we're like, let's do this podcast. You probably mentioned something like this earlier. Maybe you brought this up. And we started doing this podcast, and our kids, you know, because we have like, our youngest is 18, our oldest is 32. And our kids were like, you guys are going to do YouTube? Okay, let's see how this goes. And we totally surprised everybody. We learned how to do it. And we got ourselves our play button. And we literally went from being our shaman self into tech shamans. Now we're actually working in the world of the internet, tech. We're coming out to you across the world in every region.
It's never too late to
bring all of our work out to you guys, and we love it. We absolutely love it. And by the way, if you stick around to the very end, we have a surprise for you. We are going to be starting a new segment where we're going to be introducing tools of the trade, different shamanic tools, things that we love, and every single Psychic Sunday, we're going to bring a new product that we're going to introduce, and tonight is going to be so exciting.
Yeah, tonight's something very...
Oh my God, you guys have to stick around for that.
You cannot even guess what it is that we're going to show you.
Yeah,
you can't even guess it.
So are you ready to take questions?
Yeah.
Or do you need to get in the mood? Do you have any spirit shout outs?
Well, I will. I think I wanted to say something more to everyone.
Tell them.
Let's begin by taking a deep breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth, because there's a lot of spirit guides here, guys, and they are going to be just flowing the messages through me. And, you know, I like to pace myself and have conversations in between and talk to you guys about things that are happening in our world and want to hear about what's happening in your world. So let's just do some shout outs about, if it's your first time joining us, let us know what city, state, country that you're watching from, and we'll say hi to you. And as we're doing that, I'm going to kind of tune in to kind of like check who's been hanging out at my spiritual door to give some shout outs.
So while you're doing that...
I already got one.
Oh, okay, here we go.
That was crazy.
That was fast.
It happens like that sometimes.
That was quick. They're just standing in line waiting to...
Okay, so somebody's here on the other side who's connected to one of you out there who's watching. Then you have their binoculars, or the binoculars is a big thing between you and this person who crossed over. And so they're using that as a symbol that you should absolutely know this is for you. So that's number one. There's also someone here, and I think this is a female. They're coming in more clearer to me. And they would wear, you saw how I have like this little thing on the top of my head, my little Japanese bun. Well, I can't say it's a bun, but something. They wore their hair like this, like something like where they gathered their hair up in the front all the time and put a scrunchie in it, and like it was like a big sprout coming out the top of their head. And this person's connected to you, and I believe it's a she on the other side with that. And I have another third spirit shout out, and it's a cat on the other side. This cat is very unique looking. It's a tiger striped black and white cat. Not like black and dark gray like Mumi, our cat, whom you guys have seen. Not that. I'm talking very white, almost like the way a white tiger would look, but obviously it's not a white tiger, but it's a cat. Thank you. All right. Spirit shout out already.
Yay.
Nancy S.
I have my dad's binoculars, and he passed 4 years ago today, and his name is Bob.
Nancy. Did you guys hear that? So Nancy just dropped in immediately and said her dad, Bob, passed away today 4 years ago, and she has his binoculars. So he was very, very strong, Nancy, coming through, as you saw when I thought I was going to take a few minutes to do these shout outs, and he just came in so fast with those binoculars. And I want to tell you, he sees you, and he's not looking through binoculars now, and he just wanted to say, hi, I see you, and it's a big, 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 big hug, like kisses on both sides of your face. He's like kissing you on one side, kissing you on the other. He's super happy, super like, you know, he feels like CEO energy, like he's the head of something, but in a very nice, fun way, like the boss you always wanted. Very in his power, very commanding, but like the kind of guy that shakes a lot of hands and kisses a lot of babies, you know, like when politicians go do that. I feel like I'm talking to the mayor or something. That's how he's coming. That's the kind of energy. So he just wanted to say that to you, Nancy. So how great to hear that 4 years later. He knew you were going to watch.
I also want to remind everybody, it's really fun for everybody when you give a confirmation to anything that rings true or that any hits. It's really fun because we all can follow along and we get excited.
Of course.
We have fun with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, how this show works, there's a lot of first timers here tonight. As you can see, we are real people doing a real thing right now. And so we are trying new things out. And tonight, what we're going to do beside the product that we're going to show you tonight, in between the readings, we're going to take little moments and we're going to talk about different topics that are interesting to people that are spiritually inclined or metaphysical, paranormal, energy. We're going to bring in definitions, conversations, and stories about things that we've experienced, our own interpretations of things, experiences that we have, things we're doing in our life.
Anything that you guys
right
want to talk about
Yeah,
that has
so
to do with the
that's gonna be
metaphysical
sprinkled.
world, you
We're
can
gonna-
talk about.
We can't over talk at the same time with our
Why?
mic because they can't hear it. Have you
I'm
ever?
joking.
Oh, so it'll be interspersed in between the readings. So we're gonna get started now, and we are gonna we're waiting for more shout outs, but meanwhile
Okay.
we're gonna start with our very first one.
Okay.
Welcome, Adam R.
Adam R.
Hi guys, do
Hi.
you see my energy and overall health improving soon? Thank you.
Oh, okay. Let me look in Adam. Yeah, I mean, what the first thing that I get is a very sensitive system. Do you also have very sensitive skin, like very sensitive to the temperature, very sensitive to things you put on your skin, or? Yeah. It's like the first thing before I answer the question, I like to just tune in and see what I feel. And that's the first thing that I feel, Adam. I also feel that your nervous system is on like a heightened energy, meaning like where on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 would be completely, totally relaxed, and then 10 would be the opposite, super anxious. I mean, it feels like a 7 to 8 with you. But this doesn't feel just about when you are not feeling well physically. It feels like this is, you've been in that mode a long time, and it puts a strain on your system, and that certainly doesn't help your immune system. But boy, this thing is taking it, whatever this thing is, it's taking its time. And so I always tell you messages where I just shoot it to you straight. I don't sugarcoat it, but I also don't, make it darker. I just tell you the way that I see it. So the way that I see it is that this is, you're in this a little bit for the long haul, and I see it more into next year where things turn around. And I also feel like there's someone else coming in exactly when you're going to be ready to kind of lead you into the next step of your healing. That's what I feel. So my word of psychic advice for you would be to do all things that calm your system emotionally. Because I think that what I feel is that it exacerbates this, whatever this condition is, with the amount of tension with you. And that's a rule of thumb, I think, that applies to almost all of us, but I have to say it to you because it's what I feel that you have to bring it down. And so how you're connecting with your own self-healing meditations will be very important here at night. And you can find some really great self-healing meditations on YouTube. There's plenty of people who lead great meditations in that area. So look that up on YouTube, put the headphones on, and every night do that. Is Adam saying anything?
What'd you say?
I said, is Adam saying anything?
No, but I have a confirmation from Nancy.
Yes.
And wait, Adam did say yes. I have dry hair and skin.
Yeah.
So confirmation on that.
Okay.
May say more because there was a delay.
Okay.
But Nancy says thank you so much. This is about her dad that came
Bob.
It just flashed up one. I told him he better come through for my birthday, LOL. So thank you, because her 50th birthday is in like a day.
Wow.
He was very loved and cared for everyone he knew. I feel him all the time.
Yes.
It made me very happy.
You're so welcome, Nancy. Yeah, he came in totally like that.
Yes,
and what else?
And, Adam says, yes, it's very tiring.
Yeah.
My head hurts and I need to nap all the time to get through the day.
Yes. Let's stay on that, Adam. Keep watching, and I'll tune in more for you as the weeks go on. Okay? All right.
There's another spirit shout out.
Spirit shout out.
Yes.
Sierra.
Her best friend Noelle is the scrunchy girl.
Okay.
She wore her scrunchies just like that, and she passed away in 1993.
Wow. Okay.
Prime scrunchie.
Okay. So Sierra Noelle showed up and very bouncy. I mean, just showed up, and I saw the hair first, and the scrunchie. It was like that was her symbol. Almost kind of describes her personality, like doing things for an effect at the same time, not giving a damn about what anybody thinks about her. And so I want to say sprout, because the hair looks like a sprout with the scrunchie, and then I also want to say sprite, like a fairy energy. Like a sprite is another word for a fairy energy. And she's coming through. She's always on your left shoulder. She's the one that is kind of pointing to go in. She's like, I point you to go in stores. Like, let's go this way. Let me show you where the crystal shops are. Let me show you where the cool stuff is that you want to see. She's guiding you along in that way. Also, question for you. Have you spent any time in the New England area? Because that's coming up around you. And if you haven't, you should. Autumn's a great time to be in New England. It's beautiful there. Okay.
So she was very, very wise.
Very wise, yeah. Like a fairy. Fairy's like, it's like that sage energy. Let's keep going.
Okay.
I may have the cat.
Oh, the cat.
Lyanna had a snow bangle.
Yeah.
Like a miniature
white tiger snow bangle.
Yes, named Caper.
Caper. Okay. Shawana, did you say? Lyanna, sorry. Lyanna, well, that is named Caper?
Yeah.
Like.
With a K, though.
K-A-P-E-R?
K-A-P-E-R.
Oh, what an interesting name.
Capper?
I wonder what that name. Tell me about that name. I want to know why you named, if I'm even saying it right, Caper. Okay, so this cat showed me the side of his or her face with that beautiful fur. I mean, I haven't seen anyone have a cat like this in person. I've never even seen one up close. But he's around you and came through with a big stretch and a yawn. Very, very cozy and very, very snuggly. And this cat is going to be with you throughout this season and winter. It's kind of like to keep you company. And I feel like coming through to give you a feeling of relax and slow down, and let's really get into the autumn and winter season and lay back and stop moving so fast. Great.
Okay.
Could we turn the air conditioner off?
Yeah.
It's making me cough.
All righty
Okay.
then. So, because we have a new system, we have everything upgraded, our system entirely. Our audio, when I speak, people are telling me that it's not quite showing up. So I'm on with tech support.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm going to be doing a bunch of things, including reading your texts and doing tech support. I'm
Erica
a
can read the
multitasker.
text. Why don't you be on tech
Do you
support
guys
more?
mind?
No, we're cool.
You guys, I got to do what I got to do.
I can read.
Okay.
I think they can hear me. If not, just you guys tell me to talk louder.
All right.
Okay, so where were we at?
Mm-hmm.
Tracy Banks would like to know if they could get a message from one of their guides, whatever or whoever wants to come through. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. There's a beautiful golden Labrador retriever on the other side, like a spirit animal. Anytime I see that dog as a spirit animal, it is because they're so loyal, service-oriented, friendly when they show up. I feel like this spirit animal of the golden lab is really a version of you, Tracy. It's the part of you that can be very engaging, can come out more the way that you know, dogs, especially those kinds of dogs, the way they keep people from getting old. They keep people from getting stagnant. And at the same time, this spirit animal is coming through to do that with you, and also to activate that quality that you also possess, which is you can get people going. And to use that power wisely, because when you can get people going, it also means, Tracy, that you can know how to push people's buttons. But what I want you to do is push those buttons that activate them. I'm a person that I learned that myself. I could push people's buttons, but what buttons are you pushing? Push the buttons that help them, push the buttons that activate them, that inspire them. And so this spirit animal is coming through for you. So gold is a very good color, not just the golden lab that I see, but the color gold. Now, I'm not talking about gold jewelry. I'm talking about things like marigolds and sunflowers and citrine. In fact, you know, in Mabon, in this autumn festival that I was telling you guys about that's going on now with the equinox, there are herbs and things that are associated with it, like rosemary and frankincense. And frankincense is very golden. And, of course, the foods of the season, but also certain crystals like citrine and anything in that golden color, okay? So that's what I'm getting. Also, get yourself some tiger's eye and work on kind of really dropping in your meditations to get connected to these spirit animal guides. You actually have a lot of spirit animal guides around you. Yeah, you should tune in to that. Okay. By the way, one more thing for you, Tracy. Somebody's popping a cork on champagne, which means that there's some celebration, birthday, anniversary, something coming up. I'd love to know what that is, because anytime that I see that means there's something coming up. So they're wishing you a happy on that. Okay.
Hey. Laura.
Mm-hmm.
This is an interesting one. She said, I've had a reoccurring significant heat on my right ear, and it happens off and on for over a year. And she wanted to know, is someone trying to communicate with me, from the other side? What's happening? Because it's not a physical.
Let's talk about that. If you guys had heard, so Laura is saying that there's a heat that she has been feeling on the right side of her head, and of course, always get things checked out medically if something's bothering you. But you're asking me as a psychic question about physical symptoms. Do they have something to do with some sort of psychic phenomenon? Absolutely. I'll give an example with myself. 20 some odd years ago, when I really began to get a lot more psychic messages, meaning consciously. I was getting them when I was 7, but didn't really understand what was going on. So cut to all those years later, I would hear a very high frequency, and I thought I had a ringing in my ears because of all those years playing on stage, and I sang in heavy metal bands. If you don't know, that was how I started, was playing heavy metal. The last thing I thought I was going to be a psychic medium or a shaman. So I thought that's what it was. Turned out that's not what it was, because I don't have it anymore, and it didn't last very long. It was for me to understand. It was almost like the spirit guides were giving me a frequency. I felt this was a frequency coming from a higher dimension that was making me become very still and know that something else was going on. And it was my time and my turn to really drop in with myself and connect to my own natural psychic abilities. Now, with you, I'm not saying it's a psychic ability, though it is in this case, I have heard of people feeling heat, and it's different for everyone. So what I would suggest to you is that you do some focused meditation, some focused psychic exercise work, where you begin to try to translate what you're experiencing in terms of heat into words. So get out a journal, get a pen, and set a mood where you don't have any other distractions. There's no TV on, and you don't have to be on the computer, and you can receive. Now, this is something that may not happen the first time. It may not happen 20 times you try this, but you will slowly get better at it in translating what it is. I don't think it is a person who's on the other side trying to reach you. What I'm feeling is this is your guides trying to get you to be more meditative and this gets your attention quicker. Okay. Then after that, if you start to receive messages from people who you know on the other side, that's just the added bonus. Okay.
I have a confirmation.
Confirmation. Sierra.
I think you had mentioned Boston and Rhode Island or something.
New England, yeah.
New England, yeah. So she said, I went to Salem, Boston, and Rhode Island when I was 21. I love the energy in Salem, and I've really been feeling a pull back to that location lately.
Yeah.
So thank you, Riz, so much.
You're so welcome. Yeah, get back there. I mean, October is crazy in Salem. I've led retreats in Salem in October, and I think I'm going to start to do them more at the end of September because it's just so many people. Salem anytime in the autumn is great. Yeah, do it. You have to do it. Okay.
We have, next up is Tracy. This is a different Tracy.
Okay.
But it is interesting because their beloved Labrador, Dexter,
Oh.
Labrador, but a different Tracy,
Yeah.
passed in July. And I know it's kind of soon for an animal, but because it was a Labrador.
Well, how interesting. Was it a golden lab?
They did not say what color the Labrador
Let me know if it was a golden lab. Okay, and what's the name of the
Also Tracy.
No, the name of the dog.
Oh, Dexter.
Dexter. Tracy, does somebody in your house play video games? Or do you have something that has... I don't know if this has anything to do with Dexter, but I'm just asking. Is there a gamer in this house? Or were you really into... Or is there something in the house that, I don't know, a poster of video games? Or there's some merch of video games? Maybe, did he have a toy of like an alien or something? Because that's what I'm seeing. Did like Dexter have a toy of like an alien? Okay. All right, let's see if they say anything.
You guys, I might have a solve. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, now I'm testing it out, and I know we're on a little delay. I have the beautiful community. A little shout out, everybody, to the community of tech people that are working with me right now, watching me right now, and helping me. It's really cool.
You mean our metamystics? Our tech people?
No.
Or are you talking about tech support?
No, I'm talking actual tech support for our streaming service.
Okay.
OBS. And I'm on with them, and their community is on it. They're watching me live and helping me right now fix the audio, which is so cool. So thank you guys
we live.
I mean,
I
I can't thank you guys enough. So I'm doing a test right now. So according to what they said, I did the right thing. So let's see what the feedback is. If you guys let me know how we're sounding. Am I sounding clear?
You sound clear to me.
I know. Okay.
In the meantime, Tracy
says,
yes, my son loves games.
Okay. Because the Dexter is showing me like the video game thing, and that's giving love to your son. Then, okay, I understand.
Yeah. Laura, you answered her question earlier. So
yeah.
She said, "Thank you so much for the advice. I've been doing a lot of what you suggested over the last 2 weeks."
Oh, so glad, Laura. Thank you for taking my advice. Okay.
There's another golden lab.
Well, I want to say something. The golden lab that I saw. This is interesting. This is a good teaching, especially when I do group readings. This happened. Okay, let's talk about the circle of light in Malibu the other night. Right. Is doing a circle for one of our dear friends, Natalie. Natalie, if you're watching, hi, happy birthday again. So I did a circle for her birthday in Malibu. Let's just talk about the Rafi Lounge in Malibu, overlooking the ocean.
Shout out to Rafi.
Shout out to Brother Rafi for opening the most amazing place.
Yeah, exactly. It's beautiful.
Crystal, if you're on my Instagram, Psychic Riz the Wiz, if you're not, you should be. Follow me, and you'll see pictures of that circle of light. There's sound gongs, and we had crystals, and there was so much imagery. It was just a perfect spot to do a circle of light. So we're at the circle of light, and Red Eagle's giving messages. And sometimes in group readings, there'll be people on the other side who are literally walking around and looking at the other people in the circle and with love, like really supportive. And this one guy's grandfather was said a particular name. I'm not going to say the name, but there's somebody walking around saying a particular name. So when Red Eagle was giving a message to this couple and he's like, who is this person? They're like, I don't know. Well, that person belonged to the person next to them. And this person who belonged to the person next to these people was giving some messages to these other people. So it's almost like they become ambassadors of giving messages, and they're really happy to be a part of this connection. So it is very possible that the golden lab that I was giving a message from to the first Tracy is this other person's golden lab, who is now working as a little spirit dog on the other side and saying hi. That's what I think is happening. So this beautiful spirit of the golden lab who's with us right now is kind of like giving out little messages. Okay.
Yeah, because this other person, her name is Patricia.
Uh-huh.
And her son, she has a son, Charlie, who played video games.
Uh-huh.
With, like, the dog would be, like, around.
The dog would be watching the video game.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that dog is talking about all the love for that person who plays the video games.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and Tracy just wanted to know, was there a message for her? Because we didn't really say.
Which Tracy is this?
So this was the Tracy for the lab, but we were just
The spirit dog that came through?
Yes. We were just talking about who plays the games.
That's a different Tracy. Now you're confused.
Sorry, Tracy with the games.
Yes.
With the lab.
Yes.
Dexter.
Yes.
We didn't actually say the message for Tracy.
Oh, it was giving love to the person playing the games. Okay. That's the message. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
That got so complex that I checked out, actually.
Sorry, because
I literally checked out.
That's going to be on my tombstone.
I literally was like, okay.
I found it finally, what I'm going to have on my tombstone. That got so complex that I just checked out. All right, let's go to the... Oh, I got some spirit shout-outs.
Okay.
So, there's a name here that sounds like Dumont. D-U-M-O-N-T. Is that a name? I know there's DuPont. Is Dumont a word? That could be a last name. That could even be a street. But there's somebody here who's connected to that name. Dumont. What does that mean in French? Of the mountain? Right? Mont is mountain, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. That's that. Let me give you some more. Let me see what else I got here.
Erica, are we on Laura next? Or no. Trace Sierra?
Okay, so there's somebody here who's talking now. This is an interesting message. So there's a place. God, I haven't heard this in so long, and this person is telling me about this. There's a place in upstate New York which is called Lake Placid. I think there was an Olympics that happened there in the early 80s. So this message...
Somebody's talking about Dumont.
Okay.
No, they're not. It's not a confirmation, though.
Oh.
So there's there's some reference to Lake Placid, New York. So I don't know what that is exactly, but someone here is coming through and mentioning that. I know Lake Placid. I think the Olympics were there. But anyway, let me know if that has something to do with you. And the third spirit shout out. You have this person's crutches. You have this, or crutch. It might be one, actually. They're on the other side. You have their crutch. Okay. All right, that's it. Let's see what happens. Roll the dice.
Okay, next person. Are we on to Rachel D? Mm-hmm. Okay, so Rachel D, Lady O, Riz, Eric, I love you. Love you too, Rachel. I don't have a job right now, and I'm becoming worried about my finances. Yeah. Can my guides help me with any guidance, please?
They are on the lookout for you. It's very important for you to hear these messages.
I'd like to also give her a message.
Sure. Your guides are looking out. They're going like this, like, we're on the lookout for you. Now, sometimes people say, and I want to explain how spirit guides work. Spirit guides, their job is not to give you something. Their job, literally, is to help you realize how to connect the dots to see the bigger picture of what's going on in life. Remember Connect the Dots when we were kids, those books? And we would draw number 1 to number 2 to number 3. And then we would see the picture and go, oh, that's what this picture is. So That's what they're doing right now, but you haven't connected all the dots yet. That's the message I'm getting. It's like the dot, and you keep going to like, well, yeah, if I could connect the dots, I'd have the answer. That's not what I'm talking about. It's not the answer of that's the job I'm supposed to do. That's what I'm supposed to do. It's the part of you that this pause is happening for you to completely release the fear of what you're feeling right now. You go, how could I release the fear of not having enough money? Who could possibly release that fear? You can. You can do it. It doesn't mean that you don't have a value system anymore. It doesn't mean that you're just pretending. It means that nothing should have such a grip on you, because when it has a grip on you, it can choke you out. But when you have a grip on it, you can work with the situation. You understand the fear. The fear is not controlling you. You have it more compartmentalized. You understand it. You look at it, and you're no longer fearing the fear. You go, okay, that's a fear. I understand it. But it's out of the emergency situation. So it's like this is bringing up the feeling of emergency. Clock is ticking. When I'm going to run out of money, then I'm going to have to, what am I going to do? And I go, well, do you feel a little paralyzed? Do you feel a little slow, a little sluggish? It's like it's creeping up on you. I would say, as a shaman, when we see this happening, when something is presenting itself as this whirlpool, this little quicksand fear of, oh my God, it's got one foot in already, and I hope it doesn't get worse. That reality is creating more of that. You have to stop and change the whole scene for yourself and say, this is a point where I'm here to make a change and a shift. This is what we call a psychic shift. This is really the more expanded understanding of what psychic phenomenon is. Psychic work is not just, hey, when is that going to happen? And great, all right, when am I going to meet my soulmate? All right, great, oh, okay, and Uncle Joe gave me a message, okay, great. No, it's more than that. It's more than predictions. It is about how you are creating your reality, understanding that you're living in a school of creation and energy. So that requires deep breaths, and that requires you to get real sober with yourself. Don't get intoxicated with fear, and start to say, all right, how do I need to shift? Maybe I need to shift the way that I live for now. Maybe I need to go to a different city. Maybe I need to do things in a completely different field. This is how you're going to work with it, rather than, all right, I got a job and I just got saved by the skin of my teeth. You don't want that. That's perpetuating the survivor mentality. And we can't do that, you know?
So what Riz is talking about is belief system work, and it's crucial to understand that. And I'm going to talk about the energy that is in all of this, how you're feeling, what he's talking about. There's energy that's neutral, that's being moved. So you want to move energy in your life. You want things to move. You don't want to feel like you're drowning, like he said. So Riz channels a spirit guide, his gatekeeper named Red Eagle. And one of Red Eagle's messages that he said it so many times, and it's really, really profound, is, have you ever noticed that a person who's drowning in the ocean or in a pool, if they're kicking and they're flailing about and they're panicking, they sink to the bottom. And when they are dead or just laying there, just quiet and not moving, they float to the top. And the metaphor behind this, obviously, is that the panic actually is what stops the energy from flowing forward. And that is actually where you need to get to the core. And what Riz is talking about is your belief system, your core belief system work. So what I would suggest is, and what I do personally, is when I reach an impasse and I reach some barrier that's a mental block, an emotional block, maybe this is as far as my family DNA has taken me. I have not gone this far, nor have I seen other people in my family go further than this. In other words, they have just accepted failure, or they have just accepted mediocrity, or they just decided that I'm just going to give up and just kind of lower their standards and lower their expectations of life and themselves. So you're reaching these new critical places in yourself where you're like, okay, no, I want to bring in more for myself. So sometimes when you're in an area like this, where you can't reach out into the future and create something for yourself, and you just can't see it, what I do personally is I reach for the lowest hanging fruit.
What do you mean by that?
So I find something that crosses my desk. So it's an opportunity. It's a job situation or something that is close to maybe something I want to do, but maybe not exactly. But at least I'm moving energy. What you don't want is stagnation. What you don't want is to panic where you stand and become paralyzed. That is where you feel the panic and the failure and like quicksand. So when you start reaching out and you're like, well, it's not really what I want to do, or it's not really where I want to be, but you just go out there and you start moving that energy, then what you really want presents itself, because you start to feel good about yourself, more stable. You start to feel the energy moving and flowing within you, and you start to feel like more possibility, and your vibration goes up. You start attracting higher vibrational situations that match the new you. And before you know it, you're starting to live the new life that you want.
Yep.
And that is how you create your reality. Okay.
All right. Any spirit shout
person.
outs?
Yes.
We do.
Yes. Tamara lives very, very close to Lake Placid.
Really?
Yes. And she had gotten, I don't know if this was a private reading or from another session, but you had told her that her spirit guide was Shakespeare.
Uh-huh.
So she wanted to know if there was perhaps a message for her. So.
I don't feel Shakespeare at the moment, but I'm curious, is your dad still with us? Because this is a male spirit talking about that area, that Lake Placid area. And did you go to Lake Placid? Did you spend time on it? Did you play there?
She lives 30 miles away.
30 miles away. Oh, that's okay. So just half an hour away. Okay.
I'll see what she says.
Yeah, because there's someone, the message is from someone on the other side who's, okay. Any other shout outs?
No, not yet, but you got a very big thank you from Adam.
Okay, Adam.
He gave the message about his health.
Yes.
He wanted to say you're the only one who felt what I've been going through. It's been 7 years with no doctors finding anything, and so he was just so grateful for that message.
You're so welcome, Adam. And I'm just curious, Adam, I don't know where you live, but look into maybe if you can find a shaman near you who can lead you in a sacred plant medicine ceremony. Look into that. And happy to, if you're in the Southern California area, I'm happy to lead you in that. But find someone, if you can find someone near you, that's great. It will help you a lot. Okay.
Okay, so we're on to Stormy Norman.
Stormy Norman instead of Stormin Norman?
Correct.
Okay. And instead of Paranorman?
Oh, now you're going to start talking about Halloween.
Well, you were talking
movies?
about, we know earlier we were talking about when an empath reaches an impasse.
We just started
in passing.
watching, do you know, we just started watching a new, is Disney, right? We don't normally watch Disney, but we were watching Agatha last night.
Agatha All Along.
Agatha All Along.
I liked it.
Did you like it?
I did.
I liked it. I was surprised. It's a lot of strong female leads, which of course I'm a fan. And I really liked the main character. Oh my God, she reminded me so much in this little journey she was going through, where she was, and I don't want to give it away, but she was going through a spell and she was trying to wake up from the spell that she was in. It reminded me a lot of our journeys, and I was telling you that she triggered so many memories of my sacred,
of different dimensions and realities,
journeys that we've done, and that I would wake up into a reality and go, "This is not my reality.
Right.
Where am I?" And then there was like this wake up, and then remembering who you are, and then reconfiguring into this life you live, and you come out and you're like, oh, I have to change things, and then reminding yourself of your own power. It was really layered.
Yeah, I think it was
and
really
I didn't know
layered.
if that was on purpose, like the writers did that on purpose. But
well, we watched because I thought it was
Halloween 2024.
Oh yeah,
movie
like
officially.
Our schedule of like what we're gonna watch in October
Which, by the
started
way,
already.
Our October schedule is packed.
We have a calendar on the wall that she drew of like all the Halloween things we're going to do. And I'm so into it.
Every week there's like 2 or 3 major
we'll talk
activities,
about it.
including,
but Agatha, the reason I watched Agatha all along, because I thought it was an Agatha Christie thing.
Right.
Oh, no,
right.
it's not.
No, it's not Agatha Christie.
It's based off of this thing called WandaVision that was a Marvel thing.
It's a Marvel.
But I don't think you need to watch that to understand this. We had it. We loved it. It's about these different witches, and they all have different styles, and there's strong female leads of varying ages, which is so great.
It's on the, so far it's in the kind of like scary-ish side. There was a moment where it got a little bit like, ooh, that was really scary.
Really?
But remember when the witch was coming down the stairs? She was like kind of
Which one?
The one I don't want to give it away, but like towards the end when they were
Yeah,
escaping.
give it a watch. You might like it, you guys.
Yeah. All right. So you want to go to the next?
A shout out.
You have
All
a
right, spirit shout out.
All right.
So, Tamara, her father is on the other side.
Thank you.
His name is Lyle.
So Lyle, the dad, that's what I was asking if the gentleman on the other side is talking about that, was showing me like an aerial view of that area, and I kept seeing Lake Placid. So he is definitely with you, and I'm sure it's going to be snowing there very soon. So he's gonna make sure that you're safe, in the snow and the icy roads and things. So, but it's also like a drive carefully kind of message from him. And walk carefully. Don't slip and hurt yourself. Did we get any message from the person that was showing me the crutch?
No.
There's somebody who crossed over. I'll say it again. Somebody who crossed over is showing me that you have their crutch, when you walk, or crutches. But I keep thinking it's one.
So somebody's saying that they're missing us by us not coming to Massachusetts, or was it Vermont? Virginia. And so that was rescheduled. However, we have not discussed yet that we do this special, and it's only for a limited time, you guys. It's only for the next, until next year, that we are traveling to you, and you can put together a private shamanic weekend with your friends or family.
Yeah.
And Riz and I will come out and lead your journeys.
We're going to be in Arizona. We're going to be in Texas. We're going to be in Georgia next week. So we're doing a lot of private weekends. So you can organize it for your family and friends. Or
Erica can put the email in the box.
Or you can do it. Some people are doing it for their company. So we have 2 people who are bosses who are giving it to 15 of their employees.
I thought that was so smart.
They got a tent. They're going to have a chef. They're going to have, so you guys can experience that. We're going to be going down. Right now I'm talking to someone in Mexico City to go down there. So we will be doing this over the course of the next year.
So our locations, Canada, U.S., and now Mexico, but we're kind of staying in the Northern Hemisphere. I don't think we're going to the U.K. yet for that.
No, we're not.
But because we have international retreats there. So we're going to be doing Glastonbury.
I want to make one announcement, guys.
We have lots of announcement, you guys.
Yeah, there's one really special announcement that just happened a few hours ago before we started the podcast. So the Alien Contact Retreat in Joshua Tree, California, it's been sold out for God knows how long, at least 6-9 months. But unfortunately, to a dear couple who was actually coming in from Europe to go to this cannot. Maybe they're even watching right now. We love you, and we're sorry you couldn't be with us, but that spot has opened up. So if you would like to be a part of the Alien Contact Retreat in Joshua Tree, California, it can be a spot for one person, or it can be a spot for a couple, someone or 2 friends would share a bed. So that is going to be in the first weekend in October. And let me tell you, that whole weekend is going to be incredible. There's the magic of Joshua Tree is unparalleled when it comes to feeling extraterrestrial energy. So we will be channeling the Friends. The Friends are a group also called the Echelon, which is a book that we recently published, which are channelings from this highly evolved extraterrestrial group of beings that I channel and have channeled for many years.
Can you go grab that?
And they always come through when we are in Joshua Tree. It is just a portal there, guys. It is incredible energy. So that weekend, we'll also be stargazing. You will have the high-powered infrared binoculars
by the candles,
where we will be in Joshua Tree Park for several hours at night, and we're going to point out the light ships, the UFOs. You will see them there. It's going to be incredible.
I mean, that was like a bucket list.
Yeah, so if you guys, if you want to take that spot, it's one spot for either one person or 2 people to share a bed, and meals are included. It's going to be a sound bath. It's going to be fantastic. So drop a note.
Actually, there's somebody on the chat right now
in the chat. If you want to go to this, drop a note in the chat, and we'll give you a nice discount because it's last minute. And let Erica know if you want to join us for contact at Joshua Tree. All right, so let's go to some more questions.
Okay, so we are now going to Lyanna. Let me put my glasses on. I think it's with an A.
Okay.
Yeah, Lyanna Avery. Good evening. I'm hoping to hear a message from my team on the other side of the veil. I'd be extremely grateful. I love how she phrased that.
My team on the other side of the veil. Lyanna, With an A at the end?
Mm-hmm.
You have some fantastical members of your team, Lyanna. It's interesting because I was just talking about the extraterrestrial group called the Echelon. You have very strong star system connections. It feels very Arcturian. Are you familiar with what I'm talking about? Look up the Arcturian lineage of star seeds. No coincidences. They are working right now specifically on the steps you are taking. It's funny because they're showing me they're guiding your feet, literally your physical feet, and getting you to, dance is very important for you. For certainly to do that free movement and dance is very important. Ever been to Burning Man? That's a great place to dance. Amazing music goes on there, but you can make your own little Burning Man in your house. Play the music and let yourself be barefoot and loose and feel the music. That aside, they are literally talking about vortexes you will visit. They will guide you. Energy vortexes, you know the main ones that we have in this country. I mean, we know them. They're Mount Shasta and Sedona. There are other ones in New Mexico. There are some on the East Coast. There are some in the Pacific Northwest. Joshua Tree is one of them also. Find your way to these places. But they are, the message that I'm getting is how you are fine-tuning right now. This is a time to fine-tune. There's also a time to paint with big strokes. This is not that time. This is a fine-tuning your senses, like the nose knows. So they're like, follow the scent trail. We're leading you to physical spots where you're going to get your activations. Also, they're teaching you how to be more comfortable in your own skin, Lyanna. Yes, that's the message. We want you to become more comfortable in your own skin. Self-love, loving your face, loving your features, loving your hair again, loving your ears again, loving your physical form again, giving love to your physical body, giving it a pat on the back, giving it rubbing lotion on your feet, and doing that self-care. Very important. Also, another message, you're getting a couple of messages here, is alkalinizing your system. There's something a little acidic. I don't know, do you have some issues around digestion or stomach or something? But they're saying soften up, more alkaline everything in what you're putting into your body. Think smooth. Think all things that are smooth and easy as you're eating, okay?
So there's a little side conversation going on I want to talk about.
Okay.
Two different things we're interested in.
Do you want a candy corn?
Yes. I'm breaking my sugar rule, you guys, for candy corn, because unless you guys know of an alternative, these
You don't want any alternatives.
Really?
I don't want to hear about any alternatives.
It's so good. They're so soft. I love it. Okay.
I think someone's saying, I'm falling in love. Would you like an alternative feeling? No.
We're not going to get into sugar conversation tonight. Not tonight. Because you're going to activate a lot of food.
I will be eating sugar
and we are
from
not
now
go
till
there.
midnight, October 31st.
Okay, I'm not surprised.
In my mind, continuously.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of dive into a couple of these things that they were talking about that were very interesting. So somebody asked how to find out if they're a starseed, and they wanted me to expand on it more because I answered a little bit of it. So what I wanted to say, and I did a lot of videos on this, and during COVID, I actually had a whole channel just on starseeds.
I feel like I need to hold a selenite while you're doing that.
So yes, we are all starseeds. Every single human being on the planet is a starseed. And what that means is that technically, metaphorically, biologically, and spiritually, we are all from extraterrestrial DNA. And we were seeded here. This is a hybridization program from the very beginning. That's how humans came to be, came from other star systems. And there are other Earths, and there are other dimensions, and there's versions of you, and there's different lives that you've had as different beings. And so, yes, we are all starseeds, and this just happens to be our focused reality right now. But when you go to sleep tonight and you dream, you're going to go somewhere else. And where is that place? You have no idea. So you actually really don't even know where you are right now. So this is like a very big, huge mystery.
I'm in my house.
And this house is floating on a rock, floating
That's
in
the part
space.
that's the part that always
is
blows my mind.
Physical.
Do you know sometimes I'm watching
But
and I'll see the moon, I'll
is
go,
it physical all the way? Because if you change your perspective and your reality, it may not be.
that's
material
true.
and
But I have to
physical.
say this though, is that there's sometimes I look up at the moon and I'm like, it's just floating there. It's just in space.
Suspended
Like I'm
gravity.
using the word space like we say outer space, but
Like
I mean
we know
actual,
what space is.
like what is space? Like there's something in the air floating, the moon,
know, like
all
when
the
you're-
planets. So of course I understand the basic physics of
Yeah.
magnetism and all of that, but whatever, bottom line is it's just floating in space.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it
That
as
blows my mind to this day, those simple things.
well, this is how I'm looking at it. If you look at a canvas, a piece of paper, a big white sheet of paper, and you take your marker and you start drawing circles. So this
Yes.
is Earth,
Yeah.
this is Saturn,
Uh-huh.
this is a galaxy, these are stars.
Mm-hmm.
At the end, when you're done, you put your marker down, you still have all this empty space.
Yeah.
Now, what is that? I think it is just what is holding those objects in place.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it has not been designed yet.
Well, it's the
just
force,
empty-
right?
yeah, it's
But
just
also
empty
remember,
space.
you're seeing things that you can only see
With
with your physical eye.
And we don't have the technology yet, our current 2024 technology that we know of.
Uh-huh.
We don't have the technology to really see certain species on different planets. For example, like Mars, it's uninhabitable, right? And it's just like dirt.
So
and
they
you
say.
Think, yeah,
So they
and you
say.
think, oh, it's just dirt. You can't live here. Humans can't go there, quote unquote. Yes. However, what if dimensionally, or I should say, let me say vibrationally, we are not vibing high enough as a species. Our technology is not precise enough
Yeah.
that we could actually catch or see an entire civilization could be living there. Their ideas of heat and cold are very different from ours. And people say, oh, there's no life on Mars. Oh, what if we're like, you know, like how like a little crustacean or a little crab in the ocean or a little ant that's crawling around here on Earth, they say, there's no humans. What's that? Those big things? Oh, no, I don't know what that is. So, like, we have no idea what is actually living on Mars.
Well, I think that it goes back down to really also simply physics. Is it possible that other life forms exist on a frequency or a vibration that is imperceptible to our own physical senses as well as any technology we've developed? And of course the answer is of course it's possible. And so that's where scientifically minded people go, but metaphysically, those of us who have been studying channeling and have been receiving these messages, many of these channelings that were said over the last 100 years are now coming to be true. Okay. So
Well, don't you love how science and metaphysics, quote unquote metaphysics, are starting to they're starting to blend.
well, you know, Phineas has
And
said, is
physics-
science,
physics and
is magic simply a science that you just haven't yet called a science or
Yeah.
discovered as a science, or
Right.
is science a magic?
yeah, because aren't
Right?
there
So are there
villagers
both?
back in the day, they would look at a camera and think their soul is being taken out of them because they would look at the camera and see their picture and they thought that their soul.
Let's use that example. Okay.
Yeah.
So they'll say, oh, it's not science. It's not magic. It's science. See, it's a camera. One day you'll figure it out. But that process is still quite magical. One person will say, right, we're listening to music that is on our computer, which means simply that in the hard drive, there is a disk. Okay. There's a disk in there. There's kind of like a CD in your hard drive. Okay. And that is made of different metal, aluminum, basically. And we figured out how to capture sound along with pictures and movies, data, turn them into silent pieces of information.
Which is incredible.
So could that, so
We've
one
done
might say,
that
well,
in this lifetime.
so one might say that that's science, but also that's very magical. That's a magic. And some people will say, well, it's a science because you can duplicate it. But, well, what about being a psychic? Isn't that scientific? I've given tens of thousands of readings, done some tonight. It's constantly repeatable. I repeat it all the time. giving people messages that are accurate with detailed information many, many times. So one might say, well, that's enough of accurate psychic messages to be considered a science. So we call it a metaphysical science. But maybe these worlds will never, certainly not going to meet in our lifetime. But my goal as a psychic medium and a channeler and a shaman has always been for people to understand that that reality is a lot bigger than you could have ever imagined. And reality is a lot stranger than you could have ever imagined.
The ocean. The ocean's magical, and they still haven't
I
discovered.
try not to go in the ocean, though.
They haven't discovered so much of what's going on in
I'm
there.
never going to scuba dive. Do you know that?
Constantly, I ignore him when he makes fun of me when I'm talking.
I'm not making fun of you.
I ignore him because
I'm telling you, I'm never going to scuba dive.
I listen like a really good student, and I'm listening. When I talk, he starts joking. And you know what? That's the Leo.
Well,
and you know what? I'm not listening. So I'm going to go ahead. Yes,
I'm never going to scuba dive.
I think the bottom of the ocean is still yet to be discovered, uncharted territory, similar to space.
That's
There's
a fact.
Creatures that are evolving over time that we don't even know what they're turning into.
Do you know there was an article that an octopus is from outer space? There's an article about that.
I believe it.
If there's an article about something, it means it's true.
Do you know octopus are some of the most intelligent life forms on the planet?
What was that movie that came out during the pandemic? My Octopus Teacher?
My Octopus Teacher. Right? It's incredible. Is
that what it was called?
Yeah. And this octopus remembered him and came and visited him. And I think there's been octopuses known to actually open locks out of their aquariums.
That's right. I saw that video. Yeah. He opened the lock
so intelligent.
of the fish tank, the octopus tank, crawls out, finds his way to the,
It's an animal totem.
Yes. By the way, speaking of which, nice segue. I want to talk about my Oracle deck.
Oh.
Why? Because I actually, now this is, let's drop in with this. So I channel a spirit guide by the name of Fenestra, who came, I don't know, maybe she only has come to me, but for many, many years. And Fenestra is the spirit animal of this giant magical octopus. In the depths, I say the depths and the oceans of cosmic consciousness is the way that she shows up to me. So she's in my Oracle card deck, which is called the Riz Spirit Guide Oracle deck, coming out by Halloween. It'll be out and you'll be able to order it. And these are 64 or 63 cards of the guides that I channel. And if you go on my Insta, you'll see some of the pictures of it. You guys, I have waited 20 years to create this deck and share the messages. Each card has a channeled message. It's in the booklet. This is not just an Oracle deck with ordinary artwork. This artwork is out of control. This is the next level.
I'm going to actually drop the link in.
Drop a link in. And you'll pull a card every day. I also teach you how to do a spread of 2 cards or 3 cards. But my cards are not just, hope. And then it says like 3 lines, like try to have hope today. And no, these are detailed, highly, I like to say elegant and sophisticated and potent messages that I channeled in trance, by the way. Every single card.
It's the most unique deck I have ever seen. I can't wait to show
and you know me, I waited 20 years before I put this out.
Yeah.
And so now it's going to be out. I'm super stoked and excited about this. And by the way, I'll tell you, it's going to be the first of a trilogy of decks. But let's just sink our teeth into this one first. So you'll see the Fenestra card in there. I think it's time to do some messages.
Alrighty. So we are now going to Patrice. What is my purpose? I know that's a loaded question.
Is that all, Patrice?
Saying hi from Miami, Florida.
If you live in Miami, Florida, you don't need a purpose. You're supposed to enjoy life. You're in Miami, for God's sakes.
Yeah. Go and stand in the ocean and just let the waves hit you.
Miami's got it all.
Green, beautiful ocean.
You can chill
in the Pacific Ocean over here, you guys. You never know what is
crystal clear waters.
Yeah.
Amazing food. Amazing Cuban culture.
Yeah.
Amazing music.
What is my
Everything's
purpose?
beautiful.
Okay, Patrice. Your purpose is to enjoy your life.
Isn't it funny how when we say that,
and people will go, "Oh man,
come on, isn't it more than that? I'm trying to."
Life? Oh, I thought it was more than that. More than enjoying your
life.
Can
I talk about? I'll say something, Patrice, and I've been talking about this lately because you guys know me. If you know me, you know how I am, and if you don't know me, you're gonna know how I am, is that I kind of say a lot of things that other shamans and teachers do not say. Like a lot of people will tell you, do the thing that you love, and I say, don't do the thing that you love. That's the big question. People are, how can I just want to stop this and do what I love? And I go, why do you want to stop what you're doing and you're making money? Why do you want to stop that and do what I love? Because I can't stand it. And I go, stop not liking it. Just start liking it. They're like, are you telling me I'm not going to live my dream? I go, you can live your dream. Is your dream that you have to do something that you love and make money at it? Why is that the dream? Why can't you just do the thing that you love, whether you get paid or you don't get paid, or you get clients or you don't? Or I got over that for myself, because I'm going to give you the message for all of you guys. I suggest that you don't really need to spend so much time and yearning and frustration and inner angst over doing what you love. Do what you're cut out for. That is also pretty power-packed and loaded. What do you mean what I'm cut out for? I'm just going to speak from my experience. I can actually say I never wanted to be a psychic medium. I never wanted to be a channeler. I never wanted to be a shaman until a certain point. But I never wanted to be those things. Some people, I teach students in classes and all these wonderful souls who really want to be it. And they may or may not do it. I don't know. It's really up to them, their level of skill and commitment, and if they have the gift or not. It's all these factors that go into that. So I say do what you're cut out for. So I'll lead shamanic journeys, and then I'll do phone sessions, and then I'll do channeling circles, and people say to me, you do this day in and day out. How do you do it, Riz? How do you do it? And I go, I'm just cut out for it. They go, is it because you love it? I'm like, I do have love for what I do, and I love it, but it's not because I love it that I'm able to do it. I'm able to do it because I'm cut out for it, and I know the value of what I'm doing. So that makes the love actually much, much bigger. So when I say you're cut out for something, you got to really pause and see what you're cut out for.
You just said something that made me stop dead in my tracks inside, and I have to stop. What you just said was so profound. I don't want you to gloss over it really fast. You said, I see the value in it. I almost felt like I swallowed an elephant, because it just hit me. The reality of when you don't find value in what you do is where you feel empty, you guys. That is the key. So yeah, you might open the door that you don't want to go down and start doing the things you may not want to do, but you know how to do it. But if you see the value, then you find it to be a valuable experience for yourself. And that's where that self-gratification comes in. The
way that I connect me when I ended up singing in bands and being on stage was that people always said, oh, you don't talk or look or sound like anybody. You should be on stage, Riz. So because I loved music and I had a gift for it, that's where I was naturally inclined to be drawn to. But meanwhile, I wanted to affect people more than just music, and which was so interesting because I thought you couldn't affect people more than just music. I don't know.
Do you know if we just talked about value? Do you know people don't talk about value?
They don't.
Do you know Riz and I peruse all
They only
the time.
talk about value when they feel that somebody else didn't give them what they paid for.
Damn.
That's the only time they talk about value.
Hot. That is accurate. And Riz and I are constantly going through all the time and looking at YouTube and whatnot and just perusing.
Yeah.
And we never see anyone talk about value. Like, where is your value system? What is valuable to you? What's that? That's a commodity. That's an energy field. That's a PowerPoint.
I've said to people,
that's a source energy code. You guys are coming from your intelligence when you come from valuable observation of self. When you are observing yourself as a valuable human being, all doors are open for you. It's value. What actually is setting you apart from your ancestors who were not taught about value, except for people who found it on their own instinctively, like a farmer who knows
survival. It was survival.
It's survival.
Yeah.
But the farmer knew that this crop is valuable to people. So when, Ford came in and invented the car, that was going to be a valuable service. And when Marie Curie, is that how you say her name? When she invented
Katie Curie,
and she invented penicillin, that was a value to humanity. So value goes a long way, you guys, and don't take that for granted. That's a massive thing. You stumbled upon something, and what you just said was so powerful that it could be like, it
can change your life, because
it's life changing.
It changes your life because you'll get out of this complete existential angst and frustration about, I'm not doing the thing that I love. And someone will say, well, someone could say to me, well, what if I said, I'm not doing the thing I love, I love to play music? Well, someone's saying, who's stopping you from playing music?
Because it's
get up and play. Oh no, I don't want to play on open mic night.
So
I want to be in front of
that's
20,000
curious.
people. And they
So
go, right.
that's curious. The question you all should be asking yourself right now is, what is valuable to me?
Well, let's just say that somebody answers, millions of dollars is valuable to me. Or,
Okay.
and you're allowed to say that, okay?
Right.
You live many lifetimes. There's nothing wrong with wanting millions of dollars. Some people don't want any. Some people, listen, you can't take it
everybody
with
has
you
a different
anyway.
value system.
Yeah, you can't take it with you. This is creation school.
Isn't that like a source of power within you to be able to acknowledge what is valuable to you and what is valuable inside of you that you can offer? I like that you are kind of playing the other side of the fence here for like devil's advocate, because I want to hear.
Well, because here's the thing: it's not
tell me.
it's not as much about value. Of course I value it, but it's still not about value for me.
For you, it's
For
not
me,
about
it's
value.
still not about value.
What is it about?
It's I'm cut out for it. See, I'm very I want to get
So
very
that's
basic
where
with
you
everyone.
get your value
The
is
moment
that you got cut out for it.
Well, you could
So
say
you
that.
walked right into my trap, y'all. Did you see that?
But you could say that, but I still want to. I want
So
to take
it's
away
what-
all emotions around this and just say, look at yourself, and just be very honest with what you're cut out for. Now, someone will
But
say,
that is
"I don't
valuable
know."
to you.
That's valuable on a level of the sense of like just organizing your thoughts and seeing things.
Okay,
But the
but
thing
it's
that I'm
still
talking about,
valuable, yeah.
that yes, of course, then everything is have some value. But what I'm saying is that the person who's constantly frustrated, and this is probably 95% of the planet, says, I just want to do what I love.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, but there are people who aren't doing what they love, but they're happy.
Mm-hmm.
And then that person then says, yeah, but they're just settling, and that's what my parents did. And I go, no, hold on. Are they enjoying themselves while they're doing it?
But you still are going to find value in that to be able to enjoy yourself.
It certainly helps. And in my work, there's nothing, I mean, honestly, even as we were seeing tonight, to give people messages is the most gratifying thing that I discovered. But I discovered that, you see. I discovered that.
What about with your framework that you're
Yeah.
talking about, that it's about your, it's not so much about your value, but it's that you're cut out for it. What if that perspective makes you feel good? That makes you feel good.
Yes.
You like the feeling of that you're cut out for it.
Well, I also
like race car
discovered,
drivers are cut out to race
but
cars.
I also didn't know, let's add another layer to it, is that I didn't really know off the top of my head if someone had said, okay, so can you do all this work as a shaman, as a medium, as a speaker, as a husband, as a stepfather, and all the things that became my life, but let's just talk professionally. Do you know what it's going to take? And it's going to be year in, year out, day in, day out, different places around the world, jet lags and work, all the things you go through and taking on other people's energy, and you're going to have to learn it. I probably would have said, no, I don't think I have what it takes to do that.
Right.
But then the deeper question was going to be, but are you cut out for, I'll say it in a funny way, telling people what to do? And I go,
Like
I was doing that. Oh, I was doing that when I was 2.5 years old.
Some
Ask my
people are
parents.
Natural born instructors, natural born speakers, and it has to do with your astrology as well. Or
It does.
Your placements are. of
What's my
course.
placement that makes me a speaker, Erica?
Does he have any Gemini in his chart? I can't
My
remember.
midheaven is Gemini.
Oh, that's it.
My midheaven is Gemini.
Okay.
So even when I was 2.5 years old,
Yeah.
I used to tell my parents like what to do. Okay, so it's funny, like, okay, so you like to tell people what to do, Riz. Okay, but then how does that become elegant, beautiful, interactive, and synergistic and synchronized with people? And then you find it, right? Then you find it. So this is something that, well, this is why I always wanted to start a school, because if we started kids this way from kindergarten onwards, about them how to understand this, reality creation internally, we would have a very, very, very different
It
world.
would change the way society actually asks questions.
Yeah.
The questions would be more about the creations that they're creating and getting some tweaks and information. Like they just need some tweaks within the creation that they're already doing versus how do I create? Right now, our society is at a place where we are asking, how do we create? Because it's not taught in our public school system. It's just not taught in any school
Well, we're
system.
taught creation in the
How
sense of
to
like
create
building
yourself.
things.
Yeah, but how to create your reality. You go to
That's what we're
college.
talking about.
You think that you're going to have to you pick a major and then you have to do that one thing, but then you change your mind and you want to do a second major or a third major, and then you don't know which one you want to do because you want to do all three.
Yeah.
And then you don't know, are you supposed to do one career, two careers, three careers? We can have unlimited amount of
Well, that's the thing
careers.
that I really love about this new about Gen Z and the millennials also, but especially with Gen Z, is that they are realizing. You know, a lot of people will say, "Well, oh, a lot of these Gen Z kids, they just don't want to work and they're lazy." No, it's not that. They're just seeing, and quite honestly, they're just seeing a lot of the bullshit that we all put up with and our parents put up with, and that drove us into anxiety and depressions and exhaustion that we're used to, and we call that paying your dues. But who says it has to be that way? You know, Gen Z is going to come around and shift things. And we're not going to be here. It's going to be their world. And then the people who come after them, Gen Alpha is going to then, you know, talk about what the difference is between them, and Gen Z is going to be like the old timers.
Every generation.
That's
has been
how it
doing
works,
that,
right?
yeah.
So, but what I do see in this young generation is that they are, because they're so much more focused on their emotions than we ever were or ever had you might say, the need to or luxury to, whatever, both.
Or the support too.
Or the support too, because we support them and ask them how they are and all of that.
Right.
So, because whoever asked us how we were, right? So they're creating, actually, I think they're a feeling-based reality much more than we are, where we were just kind of survivors. And they're saying, no, the whole system needs to change, and it will change, and it will become more balanced. And we just live in a world where we go, well, you have to work 5 days a week, and then you have 2 days off. And I go, that's not balanced.
Right.
If you were to ask someone who's never created a world before what would be balanced, they would say, well, 3.5 days of work and 3.5 days of being off, right?
Yeah.
That would be
Hopefully,
balanced.
in the future, our society is going to shift.
Well, let's
to that.
let's wave the magic
that
selenite
note-
and create a whole new world.
On that note, we are going to...
Go ahead, sing it, Eric. I knew you were going to do it. Let's give pause. I'll try it again.
Okay.
And we're going to create a whole new world.
A whole new...
I knew it was coming.
I couldn't.
All right.
You keep
That being said,
Okay,
Let me
did
take
you
some
finish
questions.
with Lyanna?
I did. Let's go to the next
Okay,
question.
so Patricia
I was on
Sullivan?
Patrice. I was already did Patrice. Let's go on to the next one.
Okay, we're going to Paul Buckshot.
We actually already answered that as well.
Okay, so next question.
You answered it as well. I didn't hear that answer.
You talked about it and addressed the question. In a
Okay.
long
Oh, because his question was, how do we practice letting go of expectations and just surrender? So, yeah, in a long roundabout way, that's what we addressed. Okay, Marie, thank you for the opportunity to ask and receive guidance. What would be the most helpful for me to know from my past lives? Do you see me moving or staying where I live now?
I see you staying where you are right now. I see this move isn't until into early spring is when you should really consider this more seriously. I do think that there is a rest period you need to take right now, a breather, and take it. Really, this is a time for you to know when to say no to social engagements and to say no more right now. Even if you're bored at home, you're not going to be bored. You're going to find, it's almost like knowledge is waiting to reach you, Marie. It's like there's some books that you need to read. There's some journaling you need to do. Moving is not the time. Like, don't let whatever's bothering you about where you live right now really being the deciding factor. It's like you need to take the higher ground now and say, I will find a way to have more peace with where I'm living right now, because that's the more mature thing to do. Just tell yourself that, and I'm going to do it and stick to it. And once that box is checked, once that switch is flipped inside of you, you can pay attention to the things I'm talking about dropping in with yourself and changing the pace up with yourself. This is important. I'm also getting a little side note that I was wondering, do you like geometric prints on your clothing? Because you should wear some geometric prints. I just see these different shapes and things. That could be, I don't know what it is, but that's what I'm seeing in your clothing. It's going to be good luck for you. Okay.
Okay.
Next question.
Erica, you left a note for me about Joshua Tree. Maybe you can elaborate.
Someone wanted to know what the discount was for Joshua Tree.
Oh, because of being a listener, like watching the podcast,
Yeah,
they get a podcast
it's
discount.
It's $250 off the price.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Next question.
Next question is Janara, here from Jordan Aman.
From Aman. Wow.
I have a question, please. How do you get yourself out of state of lack? What a great question.
Yeah. Well, the first answer would be very powerful new gratitude. I didn't just say gratitude. I said new gratitude. And powerful, amped up, fiery gratitude. How would I describe that in more depth with just regular gratitude? Regular gratitude is like this. Well, I'm glad I'm alive, and I'm glad that my loved ones are okay and they're healthy, and I'm glad there's food on the table. Yeah, I'm glad I have shoes on my feet. I'm glad. Right? It's very quiet. There's no firepower behind it. I think the universe tries to convince us, encourage us to have more fiery gratitude. And then when we don't listen, something happens, like we almost get hit by a bus and someone saves us, and we're on the sidewalk going, oh my God, whew, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh my God, right? That kind of gratitude that someone saved your life and you saw your life flash before your eyes. Let's not wait for something like that to happen to have that kind of fiery gratitude. There's a way to generate it within yourself. And here's the way that I would do it. And it's to really simplify. I would start, because you're working on lack, and obviously you're talking about big things. I would start with where I am. And I would, my code phrase for this is to become very tiny. Okay, guys, wherever it is that you're watching this podcast right now, whether you're watching live or you're watching it a few days from now, I want you to imagine that where you're sitting, look around the room, you know it well. What would happen if you were to get very tiny, if we were to shrink you down, and you are now this big, and you're on this chair or you're on the carpet? Really do it. Imagine, look around and imagine you're this big. Think about how the perspective shift would be monumental. Think how big all of these items would look. Imagine if I was that big and what this pumpkin would look like to me. It would look like as big as this house. And I would suddenly touch this in a very different way if I was a tiny person. I would look at it, I would see the color in a more vibrant, powerful, overwhelming way. And then as I walked around this entire room, this room now would become completely new to me, because I am becoming tinier, which means I'm becoming more sensitive, which means I'm actually amplifying all of my physical senses because I'm smaller. And this is what is required. In fact, this is how I channel, and I'm a psychic. Like, even though I'm sitting here and I'm laughing and I'm making jokes, I'm a 6'3", 220-pound guy. When I'm doing psychic readings, my internal energy is very tiny. I let everything affect me. I allow my emotions, my third eye, to take in the frequency and the vibrations that are happening to me psychically. That's what's happening. Even right now when I'm sitting here talking to you, that's really what's going on inside. That's how I stay open psychically. So your sensitivity is your strength, right? So your gratitude has to be that big. And then what happens is, as you begin to touch, feel, see, hear, smell, taste everything more potently, because you made yourself very small. Now this whole room is new again. Now everything will start to become new again. And that shifts your vibration from, get me out of here. When am I going to get the things that I want? Because the things that I want are not here. So what you're doing is and you're not projecting yourself somewhere better, right? Because when we're in the state of lack, we are saying no to what is. So when you're saying no to what is, how can you possibly gain the benefits of what is here? That's impossible. Certainly you're not going to get the most benefits of it. I could sit in this chair really tensely if my body is tense, and I could say this chair isn't that comfortable. But if I lean back and let my back feel this cushion and kind of drop my shoulders, and I take a few breaths and I relax my eyes, And I go, oh, this chair is pretty comfortable. I didn't realize it. That's because the vicious cycle that happens when we're in lack is that we begin to tense up. And when we begin to tense up, we are bracing ourselves like a car is going to hit us, like when we're bracing ourselves for an impact. None of these states of being are magnetic. None of these states of being are on the frequency of what we want, because what we want is not on the frequency of bracing yourself, car crash, lack. So it is incremental, starting tiny. And you're saying, oh, and I like this, and I like this. So liking things more. When people are upset with the way things are, and they feel they're lacking things in their life that they need, it's very hard to like more things. In fact, you do the opposite. You start to dislike more things. You start to say, I don't like that. And on top of that, I don't like that. You start this, you just start this snowball effect of not liking things. And they're afraid to start liking things more because what they think will happen is that they're starting to settle. Like, fine, I like this thing. I guess that's all I'm ever going to have. No, that's not what happens. Keep going. Then you start to magnetize. Aren't happy people more magnetic? Don't you want to talk to them more? Okay, so even you are attracted to happy, positive people because they've done this work on themselves. So it doesn't matter where in the world that you are, you can have this feeling. And the fact that you're asking this question means that you're ready to hear the answer. So keep working with it.
So we're going to go to our next question,
Yeah.
and then we have a little surprise we want to show everybody.
Sure.
And we'll take maybe a couple more afterwards.
Okay.
So I am not going to destroy her name. I'm going to spell it for you. Her
Okay.
name is Bhumika.
Bhumika.
There you go.
Mhm.
I'm from
She's-
Melbourne. First time here. Do you have a message for me regarding my relationship? We are thinking of getting married.
Well, it's interesting that you're thinking of getting married, Bhumika, because you're actually the truth, what I feel with you is that you're a very free spirit. So you can, but I really do feel that you need your space, even in partnership, meaning physical space sometimes where you maybe, if you're going to move into a new house, you should have a room that's just for you. And I'm not talking about the bedroom. It should be your room, your personal space, where you can have whatever it is that you want in there, and that you would also need time to yourself, that you're able to spend a day with yourself. And to understand that in your partnership, that the person can actually feel more secure, that the foundation is so strong that you can do that, and that you're here to support each other that way. So I feel like that's the case. By the way, do you want to have children? Are you at an age where you're able to have children? Because I definitely see that in the future. So a boy, if you want to, yes. And if you're too old to have kids, maybe you can adopt one. But that energy is there very strongly. Yes, as far as the marriage itself or wedding, I would go until literally, I would plan this, if you're going to do it, it would be into next summer or even autumn. So August, September is a good time, what I feel here. Okay. One more thing for you is I feel like this, the diet needs to shift with you. I feel like you can clean up this area of how you're eating. The microbiome, meaning like how the microbiome is in your gut, needs some help, and that's you need to look into that. Get someone to help you with digestion and microbiome and the right probiotics and how you're eating. And I get a lot more fiber with you. Fiber. Your guides are telling me that this is what your system needs. I also am getting, now it's really happening. Are you thinking about changing your hair? Because they're saying you should. They're, meaning your spirit guides, saying, yes, change it. You need a change. Unless you just did it, then they're giving a thumbs up. Okay. All right, Bhumika.
Okay, you guys, we have a surprise. I'm so excited. Okay, so before Riz shows it to us and brings it out, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. It's our first product review. So the designer of this product, his name is John Walter. And in 1992, he designed a patent that actually was first patented in 1887. And what we are talking about is called...
Don't say it. You know what I want to do? I want to hold it and I want people to guess.
Okay. While he is holding it, this is a very advanced tool in shamanic work. And I doubt they're going to know what it is just by looking at a red box.
I'll turn it this way.
And don't turn it too much. Yeah.
Okay, so...
All right. So would you like me to finish talking about it?
Well, do you remember how it started when I said to you one day, I said, do you know that when you look in the mirror... I said, do you know that you've never actually seen what you look like in the mirror? And you said, what are you talking about? I said, because the image is reversed. No one has ever actually seen what they look like to other people. So every time you looked in the mirror, you're seeing the opposite in a sense on each side.
And that includes selfies, and that includes zoom lenses when you're looking at yourself on
because the manufacturers of cell phones also knew that it would freak people out. Because their whole lives, they've been looking in.
Your whole life, you guys, since you were born, have only been looking at your face reversed.
So what is this called, this device?
This is called the True Mirror. And I have a link down in my description if you guys want to check it out. So somebody knew what it was?
One person knew what it was?
I'm going to demonstrate it for you right now.
Well, let's just talk about it first. What does it do?
Riz likes to micromanage me because I guess that's what husbands do, apparently.
But you didn't say what it does.
I am very good at ignoring him because I'm a Taurus double Leo.
Do you know that you didn't say what it is?
And
you just said no.
I was getting there.
You just said I'm going to tell you what it. I'm going to just demonstrate.
You can lay out a script for me if you'd like, and then I can.
It's
follow
written right.
along.
The script is written right on this side of the box.
Okay.
It's set. You have to tell them.
Why don't you tell me how to do this, how to talk, what to say? Why don't you tell me the whole
You
thing?
have to tell them that this mirror.
You tell me everything you want me to
do. Okay,
do.
I'll wait till I finished. Okay, so this mirror does not reverse the image.
And this was supposed to be my grand moment.
Hey, it was my idea to get the True Mirror.
Look,
Yeah, but wait.
he told me this is going to be
Don't
your
squint your eyes at me
this
like
is going to
that.
be your exploration or your explanation, and you're going to explain the whole thing. And he reversed his own words
Like a true
with
mirror.
a reverse mirror, and he's now turning the whole thing into his demonstration.
Because you were just going to demonstrate it, but you didn't say what is actually happening.
You could ask me.
Yeah, but she has.
I should ask her.
To say about it.
Okay.
Because I did a lot of extensive research on it, and
Okay.
you did not.
Well,
So there.
I've known this has existed for almost 20 years. Do you know that?
Be the model showcasing the product.
Okay, so how do you want me to lift it?
Oh, is that what you're going to do now? I'm going to talk about it. How about
Okay,
that?
all right.
Thank you very much. Okay, so this is how the reverse mirror works in a shamanic setting. It's very important you hear it this way because this is not just a play toy or an ordinary, just random mirror. So what you're going to be looking at is you're going to be looking at a 3D version of yourself in true form, not in reverse. So as you know, our faces are asymmetrical. Everything in our body is split down the middle. If you guys know anything about biology, you'll know that nothing is identical. So when you have been looking at yourself in the mirror all your life, you have been seeing exactly where your eye is placed and your nostrils and your mouth and everything the way it's aligned on your skull. And you're just used to it. You also have society's views of like what's beautiful, not beautiful, what is, attractive, not attractive. Some people don't even bother looking at themselves too much in the mirror. No matter what it is, you have one view, and that's how you look in a reflection, which is reversed. So having these two mirrors at this conjunction like this creates a seamless line. And there's John came up, not too much, honey. John came up with and I'm not going to tell you again, just don't do that. And so there's a little knob on the end, and that little knob, you can make the seam seamless. So when you place it correctly and you hold it from the bottom or put it on a table and look at yourself, you're going to see a completely different version of yourself, and it's the version everybody sees. Now, before we go any further, you have to know that at least, I would say, I wrote down the numbers, but offhand, I think it's about 15% of the people who see it actually like what they're seeing and they get excited and happy. Erica was one of them. And there's like a bigger percentage, like a 30% or more, that hate it, hate what they're seeing because they're not used to it. So like, let's say your right eye is a little bit higher than your left, just in general, just how you see yourself, just like by a micro measurement, right? And then when it's flipped, it becomes more pronounced because your eyes are not used to it. Your eyes, the way it projects and the way your brain projects your image, it's always used to seeing the same image all the time. So when it flips, what happens is it just looks more extreme, like your face is lopsided the other way, and it freaks you out. So you have to like adjust it a little bit till your face becomes a little bit more symmetrical. Now, that's just the technical physical part. Let me tell you about the metaphysical spiritual part of this that's really, really cool. And this is where I think this is a great tool for society. So what it's giving you an opportunity to do is to reframe your thinking, completely change your stories about yourself. And the reason why is it actually forces you to look at yourself anew. You don't have a chance, or a choice, because you're actually looking at a new version of your face you've never seen before, and you have to adjust how you feel about that. And it's like looking at somebody for the first time. So when I first looked at myself, I saw my ancestors. That's who I saw. I saw a Viking, a warrior, all this stuff, and I was like, oh my God, Erica, do I really look this fierce? Is this like my Nordic
It's kind
side?
of like when you first heard your voice on a recording and you say to yourself, that doesn't sound like me, and yet everybody else who's on the recording sounds like them to you. Just you don't sound like you to you. And this is just the visual counterpart to that.
Yes, it is. And so you are, the reason why I think it's a great tool is not only do you get to reintroduce yourself to yourself and get to see what other people see, but you also get to do affirmations and ask yourself questions. I'll give you an example. So you're looking at yourself in the mirror, this mirror, the true mirror, and you see like this face looking back at you that's very 3D. It's not 2D. It's not flat. It's very real. So as you're getting to know this new individual, you can ask it questions yourself. You can say, are you happy in your new job? Are you happy in your marriage? Do you like what you're doing right now? Do you like what what your plans are for the future? And whatever your answer is, you get to see your true.
So you're reading your face.
Yes, and you don't see the lie or like the distortion that your brain does in a reflective.
Because we all have
mirror.
like we think we have poker faces a lot of the time.
Yeah.
We're so used to, because as humans we protect ourselves,
right?
And we tend to just want to see what we want to see, and this, it's kind of like. You know what this is? This is called flipping the script.
Nice. I love that.
When
I love that.
We flip the script.
It gives you a chance for your brain to reset. Also for affirmations, what you can do is you can start telling your new face, right? You're telling your new face how you want to proceed in life. I am valuable, what I love, who I am. You get to so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to demonstrate it for you guys. I don't know.
You're going to look into it? Should I raise it higher?
Yeah, so you're going to hold it from the bottom.
Okay.
It's supposed to be on a hard surface, but we don't really have anything that's going to help us. Okay, so here we go. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. I get chills every time. Okay. Hold on. Whew. Okay. Okay.
Mirror, mirror.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to take it in. It's not something you can get used to. Don't move it too much. Okay.
Oh, it's in upstate New York. I'm reading the back.
Okay, hold on. I'm getting used to it.
TrueMirror.com, guys.
I'm getting used to it.
TrueMirror.com.
Okay, wow. Ooh, it's very alive. I can cry. It just feels, you just feel very alive. So now I'm going to flip the script on Riz.
Okay. Wow. You know what's interesting is that for me, it looks different than the first time. I can see like certain sides of my family more. Like now I can see my dad's side of the family and me more. Where before, usually I see my mom's side of the family. Now I see my dad's side of the family more.
Right.
That's
Isn't it
so
amazing
interesting.
how you
Yeah.
see your ancestors? It's so crazy. Now, do you see how alive you look? Like you're looking at a real person on the other side. Like it's not like
Right.
it's not like a
Yeah, there's so
like
what's
a-
happening, guys, is there's sort of, because you're seeing yourself new, there's this new energy that starts to happen. I think this is very useful.
and it has a hook behind it, and it's best to be put on the wall, and then you can look at it.
Yeah, it comes with instructions, and there's a
And
knob
each
on the
time
side.
You look at it. This is like a rabbit hole. You keep going deeper and deeper. So the more you look at it, the more information.
It's very
you get.
magical. It's very, very magical.
Very magical.
Oh, okay. So it's all these mirrors. It's like different mirrors positioned.
Yeah, it's 2 mirrors.
Almost like you can't tell. Oh, really? It's
Yeah,
2. It
it's
looks like
2 mirrors,
3.
and it's put together
Oh,
in an angle, and
wow.
it's seamless.
This is almost bringing the principles of sacred geometry too.
It's incredible.
And if you
isn't it?
turn this knob, a little
Yeah.
monkey comes out and puts symbols together. Erica, did you know that?
It's me.
Beautiful, guys.
I wanted to share this
is a
with you
great,
guys. This
you know
is-
what I like, that he made it red, so it's like it's
Well, there's
good for
different
Christmas.
sizes.
Oh.
Now, he said there's a couple copycats. One is in Korea, and I think one's in.
don't do the copycats. He got a
China,
patent
I
on
think.
this.
He got a patent. The ones
He
that
worked
they
hard to
do,
this-
the ones
for
that
this,
they
yeah.
create are smaller, cheaper, and they don't work. And he also has, I think there's a payment arrangement that you can make. There's like a little pay
Yeah, I think he does that.
as you go situation.
This is a great gift for Christmas.
Great gift, you guys. It
Yeah.
also comes with a lot of responsibility. You have to explain it properly. You can't just jump into this without prior warning.
Yes.
Because you're literally, you guys have never really seen fully how you look without a reversed reflection.
Yes. Yeah.
And camera manufacturers and like zoom lenses and like selfies, like they all know that if, like, for instance,
Yeah.
if you go on TikTok has a reverse filter and everyone hates it.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to see
They
that.
go, "That's not
Your
me. What's it doing to my
brain
face?"
can't receive that information. It takes time and you have to process it. It's really exciting. So thank you.
This really helps with also different versions of self-love for yourself.
Yes.
Because if you don't like what you see,
Right.
this is why it's a tool. Because it throws, half the people are thrown off by it. They go, I don't
Yes.
like to see myself that way. But hello, that's reality. That's how others are seeing you. You have to now adjust and go to the next level of like loving yourself there. And then suddenly, well, I wouldn't say suddenly, but over time, using this as a tool, look, life is about self-reflection, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? These words, self-reflection, are part of seeing ourselves from another perspective. This
Yeah.
is the basis of shaman work. It's cold, Erica. Is that air conditioner on again? Could you turn it off? Thank you. Boy, I was like, why am I freezing? So it is like you're using this, and it's interesting. In my sacred medicine work, I have here comes Poofy. She wants to look in the mirror.
Aww.
Did you hear that?
She said, I'm here.
Come here. Come here.
Go gentle with her, otherwise she'll run.
You want to say something to everybody? Say it. She knows exactly. She understands English. Okay. Do we have time for any other questions?
Somebody asked me if there's a discount code along with the link that I put, like that I'm affiliated, and I'm finding out.
Okay.
Because we have never really done this before, so we're learning.
Erica, you want to give me another question? Do we have time?
This is Poof, by the way. Did you introduce her?
This is Poofy. Oh, it's 901. Okay,
It's
so we're
901.
done for tonight.
I wanted to
She came in to say good
Rachel, or who's the one with the broken tooth?
Yeah, that was Nicole.
Nicole.
Actually, do you want me to ask that while you check on the
Oh,
discount, or did
no,
you-
because I emailed him. I don't know if he'll respond.
Oh.
But I just wanted to say, so there's Nicole, is it her name?
Yeah.
And we'll end with this. So Nicole, she broke her jaw in 3 places last year. She chipped her tooth, and then today she was driving in the car. I think she was
While she was watching.
she ate an almond and chipped her tooth. Same tooth that was cracked last year. So my message to her, and I'm just gonna tell you guys this
I'm
little
sorry to
wrap
hear
up.
that.
The tooth represents your identity. how the world sees you, your smile, your ability to see yourself and be at peace with who you are in the world. That's your window to your it's your physical identity. It's your how you see yourself. There's no other way to really say that.
It's also connected to your family because
and your ancestors, and that could be related.
Lineage.
And the second part is the jaw. So the jaw is close to your throat chakra, and your jaw represents speaking also. So if you broke it in 3 places and you have a hard time speaking, this has to do with the fact that you don't feel that you are allowed to speak your truth. And then if there's family ancestry involved, because the roots of your teeth that's ancestral. So what happens is you have to look into not feeling like you can speak your truth with your family, not feeling that you can be who you are in the world. It's like you have not given yourself permission to step out and own yourself the way you want. And so what's happening is it's kind of inverting in on itself, and you are now self-inflicting. The body is now, it's like manifesting the storyline that you have going on. So it's like hurting yourself, because you haven't been able to successfully evolve this area. So it's got your attention, and now you have to absolutely pay attention. And as we're closing, I forgot to say one thing. We had lots of stuff to cover with you guys tonight. So finally, my Merlin book, it's my Spiritual Sojourn. It is a fantasy novel set in Merlin's forest. It is called Finding Merlin. This is the soft copy color. It's amazing. I love it. I hope you guys love it. It is a great cozy read through the next season. It's very like winter, autumn kind of like setting. There are characters, creatures, elves. There's everything. And so it takes you through what the purpose of it is to find the magic within. So while you're reading the fantasy and you're hearing my journey, it's in first person. So you're actually getting your own inner dialogue and how you are manifesting and seeing your own reality and how you're seeing your own like spiritual journey. So it's very layered, and I hope you guys love it. And I will put a link, or Erica could put a link. Do you know how to do that? Website, book. Yeah. Okay. So this is the soft copy. It's color. I also have black and white, which is a little bit of a lower price point where it's not in color.
You got to get the color.
Both of them are available online. You can purchase it direct. There's different options, or you can order it with my signature, my signing it. And that's also an option. And then this is the collector's edition. This is the hardcover. This is coming out this year towards the end as we go towards Christmas. So this is the same book, but it's more like a keepsake because it's like the hardcover edition. It's very beautiful.
I love that image.
Amazing. It's gorgeous. It's something
like
that
you want to curl up with a cup of tea.
Yes.
And your black cat.
Yes. And there's so many amazing images that I help create with our designing programs, and you guys will love it. So anyway, you guys, we had a full night tonight. We hope that
we're going to see you in October.
Yep.
Aren't we? Wait.
Yeah.
Because there's no Psychic Sundays next Sunday. There's no Psychic Sundays because we're going to be traveling.
We're going to be traveling.
So the weekend after.
Yes.
Wait. Yes, for sure. Because we're coming back from Joshua Tree that weekend. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys in October. And it's going to be costumes all October long. So
you guys get ready for
wait
costumes.
Till you see
we're collecting
what we're going to be for the next broadcast.
Yeah.
All right.
For the first Sunday in October.
Yes. It's going to be awesome.
Introducing the
Much
Halloween.
love to you guys.
Yes.
Have a great week ahead.
Question.
Yes.
Some people are asking if it's possible that they could get the book signed.
Yes. So on the website, there's options. It's a drop-down, menu. So you can either get it signed or unsigned. There's different ways. You could also get the black and white and also the color version. So there's a lot of different options. Yes. Okay, you guys. Love you. Thank you.
We'll see you next time.